Knitworthy, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks.
Ding! Just so you know, there's new pictures. Oopsie.
We thought they were done.
I'm sending pictures to Brianne.
You're supposed to be podcasting with me right now, not sending me pictures.
I could do many things at once, apparently.
I mean, she's a fantastic multitasker.
Yes, I can walk and chew gum.
What?
I know.
Stop bragging. Welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. Today is Friday, October 10th, and this is episode 17 of Knitworthy.
Wow.
And we're so glad you're here. My name is Brianne, also known as Being Brianne on Ravelry and Instagram, and this is my gorgeous mother.
I'm Mama Linda, and I'm also known as Stony Brook on social media.
Yes, you are. Yes. So, Mama Linda took a break last week.
I did.
Yeah.
I had a fun time getting together with some friends. One friend was Peggy from Colorado, who is the 100th sheep.
Yes.
And we did some spinning.
How fun.
And fibery stuff. And I got to play with alpacas again.
Did you giggle like a little girl?
Just like a little girl. I do have a funny story.
You do? Okay.
Yes. We were all so excited, of course, because every day she lets the alpacas out for a little meander through just through her front yard, basically.
Yeah.
And so the alpacas were out wandering around, and she goes, "Oh, come on up and let's get a picture of you. You know, like give him a kiss."
Sure.
You know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
so a couple of my friends were doing this and petting the alpaca and going, mm. And they got a great picture of a kiss.
Yeah.
And so we were discussing it later.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was so effective is doing this
Yeah.
is an invitation to become a couple. And so
Wow.
that's why they got so much affection.
That was effective.
Yes. And she said if you've done a really good job, they cush on the ground.
Oh my.
So little baby, well, actually it was a mama alpaca,
Yeah.
was totally into the whole thing, and she
Yeah.
thought we were wonderful. So
Bring it
we
on.
kind of had an alpaca date. So pretty much. We were at Whirlwind Ranch, which is my wonderful friend Liz.
Yes.
And her mom and dad, Walter and Linda, fabulous people, and they run that ranch, and they grow alpacas, sell the fiber, sell products made from the fiber, and Liz has really astounded me with her ability to put color and texture together into some beautiful woven wraps.
Oh yeah.
It's really, really fun to see her work, so I asked her if she'd do a class.
Yay.
Because I would love to learn how to do that.
Sure.
So it was great fun.
Well, that's
What
exciting.
did you do? Huh, let me think. What did you do?
Well, I podcasted without her. I know. But you know, the show must go on.
Yes, the show.
The show must go on. We are, after all, actors. Acting! No, we really, you know, if we were actors, this would probably be a whole lot more
It would be
professional.
more professional, yeah. But thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're
I sure
welcome.
appreciate it. I enjoyed my time away, and I learned some new skills. And
Yeah.
of course, always find more things that I want to add to my list of things I want to know how to do. So,
You know what that reminds me of?
what does it remind you of?
Is the fact that if you are an iTunes viewer, then you probably are thinking, this is supposed to be episode 16. Why have you been gone for a month? And the reason is that we were having technical issues with my MacBook, and so I ended up having to podcast on my iPad mini, which was a very interesting experience. And then I couldn't, there's basically no way that we figured out that we could get the video from my iPad onto the Mac so that we could get it actually up onto iTunes. But
Maybe somebody knows how to do it.
if you know how, can you please let us know?
I mean, you could do it if we could give you a video that's like under 3 minutes.
I don't know.
Because that one could be emailed.
Yes.
There's like a time limit, and so we'd have to cut them together as
But
little tiny videos.
Could you imagine, like, you know,
An editing nightmare?
It would be. It would take you days. Maybe not days, but it would take you a very long time.
Yes, it would.
Well, shall we talk about what it is that we're wearing?
Let's. Yes.
Okay. Mom, what are you wearing?
Well, I had some Wool of the Andes left over, and that is the yarn that Knit Picks features. They must have a bazillion colors.
They do.
And I don't even remember what project it was for, but it wasn't the right color green. Here's the problem.
Tell me the problem.
The colorway I named, I forgot because I have no clue. I think it might be Time.
Okay.
Okay, and so if you really love this color, I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see. And this hat is called the Cabled Beret. Brianne, what was the name of the person who did that pattern? Can you help me?
You didn't write it down.
I think I did.
You did?
I didn't write it down.
No, you didn't. Oh, wait. By Ashley Elva.
Ashley Elva. It's a free pattern, and it is a obviously cabled. Do you see there's like stockinette panel, and then there's the pearls, and then the cables.
Super cute.
And it's definitely will not give you a headache.
That's good.
It's a nice oversized hat. I could have made it smaller, I guess. It covers my ears nicely, but it doesn't feel like I'm claustrophobic, which I sometimes do with them.
Yeah.
And so I loved it. I made this last week, and I'm loving it.
It's super cute.
So just because we are on the hat that I am wearing.
Yeah.
And for those of you who might be new joining us, I have been trying to come up with ways to cover my grays as I grow my hair out. So my grays are like, you know, skunk stripey right about here. And so I went for hats. Maybe, we'll see. But the cabled hat, I think I'll make this one again.
Will you? It's super cute on you.
I'm really enjoying it, and I especially love it because I had to make it because I had to use my brand new cable needle.
That is, here, let's
Isn't
cover
it adorable? How about my black background? I'll stand up a little. How's that?
Oh, there you go.
I'm jiggling now. And this was made by James at Wolf Farms. And it is a little teacup top with a blue bead. And then what I'm loving about it, look at this interesting shape. This thing hangs on very well. Do you ever have trouble sometimes with cable needles working their way out as you're manipulating stitches and stuff? And this one doesn't do it. It has a nice grip. I don't mean a grip. I guess the shape is just very well designed. Oh, go figure, he'd make a well-designed tool. And so this is what would hold your stitches while you're doing your cables if you haven't done cables before. And I think if I was going to leave and not finish a cable, I don't know why you do that, but if you were, I would put it all the way up to the small, I'll show you, to the small part here. Put my stitches here, and then there's really no way you're going to lose those babies off. So he is selling those now, and I don't know if you can see at the top the little ring.
Cute.
I thought, wouldn't that be great to put it like here while you're working on a project? You'd never lose your cable needle. But also you can just feed it through the fabric that you're making and it stays nicely.
Super cute.
He has all sorts of them. I'm linking to it. He's got cats. He's got some Halloween themed ones, but he has other ones also.
Yeah.
And he's making orifice hooks now also.
That's what I heard. I saw their last podcast, and that was really a smart idea.
I'm not sure if I've caught up with all of them. I usually try and see them in the same week, but you just can't always do that. So sometimes it doesn't work out.
No.
But I love it. And you know what is very exciting?
Tell me.
When I got this, the beautiful Dawn Knit and Wolf sent us one that we can do as a giveaway.
And a bar of soap.
And a bar of soap. Well, I bought that.
Oh, you did? Well, that was very sweet of you.
Because
I like giving other people credit for your things. Dawn, you are very generous.
She would have done it. She's very generous. But I love their soap. And I thought, from time to time I'll pick up a prize or two just because I want to make sure we have fun things to give people.
Sure.
And I love her soap, and it's the Wolf Farm scent, but it's like a cinnamon apple, but it's just a very fresh smell.
Yeah.
And I love it. So I got one for myself and one for you.
That's awesome.
So we'll be using those for another contest.
We have several things that are in our box, our our giveaway box.
Okay.
Because we don't really make you earn it. I mean, like, except for the fresh face one, where you actually had to like do something. Most of the time we're going to be like, you know, what's your favorite color? You already know the answer to that. It's not hard. Just, you know, right? My favorite color is, you know, puce green. I don't know.
We've got enough pressure in this world, don't we? That we don't need to have pressure for contests. It's just about the fun.
That's right. So anyways, yeah, so that I opened up the box to the giveaway box today, and it smells so good from that soap.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it, and it makes me happy, so I buy it so I can have it. I have other soaps I enjoy too, but love that one.
Yeah. Well, I am wearing a cowl today. Do you see it? Here's my cowl.
I heard you're wearing a cowl.
I'm
glad you clarified it.
It's a cowl or a cowl. You know, one letter makes a big difference in things.
My hearing sure makes the show interesting, doesn't
maybe
it?
It's just that your ears are covered up by the cat.
The L didn't make it through the fabric.
No, it's a very, you know, dense fabric.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not calling you dense. Can I clarify that?
I tried not to take offense.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was talking about your hat is dense, not that you are dense. Got to clarify these things.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, Mom. This is just a, I don't even think there was a pattern to it.
Well, isn't this the one I made?
Can you remember?
I think we were going to California.
Yes!
And we stopped at Loops.
Yes.
You were making it, and I had to, of course, copy you.
Of course.
So I've worn it before on the podcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's a cream colored one that I love. I got some really soft, squishy fabric, and we made it fabric. I didn't make it out of fabric. I got yarn.
This is a knitting podcast. Let's talk about sewing.
Why not? So anyway, I copied you.
Yeah.
And I love mine.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head what the yarn is. I remember the name of it, and it's Favorite Jeans. And it was a fingering weight that I held doubled, and then there's just some seed stitch. You can see it through the muddled colors and everything, but it's just some like a couple rows of seed stitch on the bottom, and then I knit. So I was almost out of yarn, and I had some extra left over, so I could do some more seed stitch on the top. Super simple.
Yeah.
You could do that. You don't need a pattern for this.
It doesn't grip your neck or make you feel uncomfortable, and so it is really a nice one that you could wear all day long and not feel like I've got too much. Like when you wear the one that's the big, ginormous, cable-y thing that looks like you got a whole sheep around your neck. Those you can only wear for shorter times.
Don't wear a sheep around your neck.
Quick, duct tape his legs together. The sheep's falling.
No. Okay. No, we didn't do that. No. So that's what we're wearing.
Yes.
Let's talk about gooseberries.
We had a great week for gooseberries.
Shall I start?
I would love for you to start.
Okay. People. Gooseberries. This is our tasty weekly chit chat. We have some awesome chit chat for this week because do you know what happened this week? This week on Tuesday, we got to go to St. Louis Children's Hospital and celebrate Owen's very last chemotherapy.
It was amazing.
It was. And here is why. Because Owen was diagnosed with cancer, with lymphoma, in June of 2012. So if you do the math, that is like 28 months, 29 months. I mean, we have been doing this for a very long time.
And see, to me, that sounds like it's not very long. 2.5 years.
When we started chemotherapy, my youngest son, Evan, who you saw last week, he had just turned 2. So he does not remember our life before cancer. You know, to him, we've just always done this, and, you know, we've always lived in Dee and Poppy's house, and, you know, we've always had Mom leaving for trips and things like that. And so 28 months. That's a very long time. But we got to celebrate by Mom and Dad came up with us to St. Louis, and we brought my husband, Brian, and all 3 of our kids so that we could all celebrate together the end of chemotherapy. And it was such an amazing thing. He was telling everybody that we ran into, I mean, the people at the gas station and everybody that we ran into at the hospital. I mean, whether or not they worked there or not. He would say, today's my last chemo, and everybody would cheer and say, congratulations. And we went to the ambulatory procedure center where he gets his lumbar punctures. He's had over 30 lumbar punctures where they take out some of his spinal fluid and put chemotherapy inside so it can circulate around his brain so we don't end up with brain cancer. And I mean, we've had the same nurses, basically for this whole time. And so everyone, when they saw Owen, they cheered and they clapped and they gave him hugs and oh my gosh.
They got teary too.
You did?
I did, but they got teary.
They did. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I mean, they've spent a lot of time with us and they've seen the good times and the bad times.
They have. They've
walked the road with us.
Yes, they are they have very much been a part of our journey through Owen's cancer treatment. And up in the clinic, it was the best because everybody saw Owen and gave him high fives and they had a party for him. Oh,
yeah.
Shoot.
That's okay. Happy tears. Right?
Yes. Oh, so happy.
Yeah.
They had a party for him after he was done and he got to ring. They have this bell that when you finish your chemotherapy, you get to ring it.
Yeah.
And he got to ring the bell, so that was so neat. And they had cake and balloons and they had a couple presents for him. And his oncologist and his nurse practitioner who are part of the main part of his team, they both wore green because they know that green is his favorite color.
Is that why they did it?
Yeah.
Oh, how sweet.
It was wonderful. So we're going to have a picture. That's our postcard from the Ozark this week. So you'll be able to see that along with us. And then when he got back to school on Thursday, his teacher had gotten together like a surprise party for him. And so they had movie, they had little Pokemon cards for him. They gave him Doritos. Everybody ate snacks and they surprised him when he came back from his, the time that he spends with his special ed teacher. And he walks in the room, everybody goes, surprise! And Owen's like so confused. He has no idea what's going on. And they had to tell him, it's a party for you. It's your surprise party. And it was just so neat.
I love it.
And just to see how much people love him, you know?
It's neat. We just, people have been so sweet in rallying around. And you need it when you're facing things that are monumental.
Yes. Yeah. So it was wonderful. And it's been really incredible.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Whew. It's been really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's your turn.
Well, mine is the same thing, of course. It's all about how wonderful it was to see the milestone that Owen reached. But it wasn't just Owen. It felt like we reached the milestone. Yeah. You don't get through big things in life we don't get through big things in life without it being a group project. That's right. If it's happening to me, too bad. It's happening to you too. But I thought when we were first in the hospital and got the bad news, and it is bad news when you get that, and we were the first inkling I had, really understanding what was going on because I hadn't been given all the words that I needed to hear in order to understand.
No.
We arrived, I drove up to St. Louis to be there when Brianne arrived on the plane.
They flew him from Springfield.
Yeah.
That's your first sign that things aren't good.
Yeah, it was, we have to take care of him quickly, so let's get him up there. And I called to find out what floor she was on. I go up there and I see she's on the oncology floor.
Well, first we were in the ICU.
Yeah.
And on
that's true. It was just ICU. It wasn't just for cancer. But the first doctor we saw, we looked at the name tag and it said oncology. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
Why are we with oncology? And that woman that we saw, the first face we saw that day, was the one that was there.
Dr. Fields.
Dr. Fields. She was there to celebrate with us.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're facing something big, you think, how am I ever going to do it? They told us 2.5 years of treatment. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, was just beyond our ability to understand. And when we got placed on a floor, we were finally out of ICU. We got placed on a floor, and within a very short time, we got to see another young boy about Owen's age ring his bell that he had completed his course of chemo. And I thought, it's hard to imagine us being at the bell ringing ceremony.
Oh yeah. Like, this is not that this is never going to happen, but this is going to take forever.
Yeah, it just, you can't
fathom it.
Yes, you can't picture yourself in that time when it's behind you.
And not because you're being negative.
No.
Because, of course, we tried to be positive and tried to make sure that, we were, being mindful of the thoughts that we were letting in.
We knew we couldn't afford to fall apart.
No,
Owen
definitely
was counting
not.
on us.
Yeah.
So to be there this week and to say, I remember standing there saying, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
And watching the other little boy ring his bell. And I thought, thank you, Lord, that we made it.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean that his struggle is over.
Nope.
We still have to watch him carefully. He still has more. He has to go up there every month for quite a long time because they
2
have
years.
to make sure. Yeah, 2 more years.
Yeah.
But we have to make sure, and we want them making sure that he remains cancer-free.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, as we were, my gooseberry it was such a good reminder to me that we really need to be mindful of setting milestones for ourselves.
Sure.
Celebrations.
Right.
Where we can go, yay me.
Yeah.
Okay? We could go, all of us, that day, we earned this week, we earned our yay me.
That's right.
We worked hard together and we made it. Okay? And so you may not have a big team of people rallying around you, and that's okay. But as your own, taking good care of yourself, being a good mama to yourself, you can set milestones.
That's right.
Whether it's for weight loss, or whether it's being healthy, or whether it's for learning a new skill.
Whether it's job related.
Maybe you're training for a new job, or you're looking for a job, or just think of all the things that will make you be more forward-looking, more full of joy.
That's right.
Looking forward to what's coming ahead.
That's right.
When we focus on how difficult the task is, it can be debilitating.
Absolutely.
And so I just think that we should get in the habit of having a yay me moment where we're going to celebrate a small milestone, nothing huge. Now, that was a big milestone we celebrated this week.
Milestone.
But I thought, and it just isn't saying nothing's ever going to go wrong again. But
I wish it was saying that.
I know. I wanted that one.
Yeah.
But I think it's really wonderful for us to have that thought in our mind that, I'm going to have a life that celebrates the successes, even little things.
Yes,
Okay?
for sure.
Sometimes it will be, I'm going to get through today, and I'm going to do my best to have a good attitude.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Or maybe it's going to be, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Okay, that's monumental. But anyway, so that's my gooseberry. I thought, that's a good place for my head to be in saying, I'm going to start being nicer to myself, setting up milestones where I can succeed.
Yeah.
And say, yay me.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you have an idea of what one you would do for yourself?
I've been trying to work out every day, and
I heard you doing your work.
And trying to just make some better choices for myself, because my birthday is next week. And I'm turning 35, which I shall be eternally 35 after that. That's my
Works for me.
My decision. And I want to be in better health. Since I'm not getting any younger, I want to make sure that I'm going to be there for my kids for a long, long time.
Yes.
And so making better choices for myself.
Okay.
That's something that I want to do. So I think every day that I make good choices for myself, I need to be able to have a yay me moment.
I think that's good. And I think if you have a day where you don't do it, I think you have to commit to not getting down on yourself.
I think I agree with you, definitely.
Because that'll just set yourself up for disaster. So you're going to
Yes.
praise the good moments, and when it doesn't happen, you just say, you know what, tomorrow's a new day.
You pick yourself up and you start
Yeah.
over again.
We've been saying that a lot. Tomorrow's a new day.
We have been saying that.
Mhm.
Well,
Yes.
shall we talk about our knitting?
Oh, probably a good idea.
Okay.
Since we're
Would
here.
you like to
Here
go
for
first, or
knitting.
would you like for me to go
Why
first?
don't you go?
Okay. What I am knitting on right this second, which you can't see, it's kind of hidden underneath the camera. This is a gauge swatch for a sweater that I want to knit for Ailish. So it's pink.
What a surprise.
I know, shocking. And let me find the yarn for you because you'll probably want to know that information. This is JoJo Land Tonic, which is 85% acrylic and 15% wool.
Here,
Oh, thank you.
I'll show this while you do your
Okay, so what I actually purchased this yarn right about the time that Evan was born. So this yarn has been marinating for approximately 4 years.
All right.
You know, nothing wrong with that. And the
What weight of yarn is it?
I believe it's a sport.
It's a
It is a
sport.
sport, yes.
Okay.
So the pattern that I'm going to be making is called Make Mine Strawberry by Terry Crews. Oh, goodness. What did I do? Here we go. And it looks like this, which I think is
That's sweet.
adorable.
That is so sweet. Yes.
Adorable. And I showed Ailish and she said, oh, yes, please. And so I think take that as a good sign.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm doing my gauge swatch right now. They have you knitting on size 3 and size 4 needles for a sport weight.
That would be a dense sweater, wouldn't it?
It would be a very dense sweater.
So is that what you're going to do?
I don't know. Now she is 8 years old, but she's in the 95th percentile for height, and she's very tall, and so I need to make a size 10 because
Okay.
that's what actually will fit her. But the size, it doesn't go up past a size 10. So I'm kind of limited. So I'm going to do a gauge swatch
Okay.
and see what happens. Since it's mostly acrylic and only 15% wool, I'm not quite sure how it's going to respond once I block it.
Well, that'll be interesting.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish my swatch and I'm going to take measurements of my before blocking numbers. Me to do all my measurements for row height and width, and then after that, then I will block it and take measurements again to see what happens to it. So that's my plan for that.
Okay. Now I have a question for you.
I have answers, I'm sure.
Okay. I've used JoJo Land before.
You have?
In a sock yarn,
Okay,
and it was very splitty.
was it?
I did not enjoy it.
Okay.
My question is, are you finding this yarn to be a bit splitty? Now, I was using fingering, of course. It's a different yarn.
Right. No, not so much.
Okay.
What I have found is that for a yarn that is 85% acrylic, I have found some veg matter in it, which was kind of surprising to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It does look like it has a nice tight twist. I think that was the problem with the fingering I used. It was a loose twist, and so it so easily came undone.
Yes.
And it just didn't have a nice, it wasn't like you could, especially with socks, how you want to be able to knit without looking.
Of course.
It was one of those where I kept splitting stitches.
That's hard. That is really hard. I don't care for knitting with splitty yarn at all. I don't think anybody does. Do you? No.
Sometimes the change of a needle will help, I found.
That's true.
But anyway.
The other thing that I've knitted on this in the last 2 weeks, let me put this down for a second, is I have knitted on Brian's Christmas socks. Oh. We're catching things over here. It's getting dangerous. My goodness.
Microphone, everything, yeah. I don't think this wants to stay
iPad
here
is
now.
going.
Okay.
So the last time you saw this sock, I was right on this green stripe right here. And so I've put some good distance on it. I turned the heel and I'm making my way down the leg now. So
What
that's
kind of
good.
heel did you use?
This is the Fish Lips Kiss heel.
Okay.
I will talk about that in another segment.
All right.
Yes. And then let me look at my notes. Oh yeah, the other thing that I have picked back up is my pagona. And I haven't put a whole lot of rows on it.
Cute bag.
Thank you. This is the Chicken Soup Designs bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So here it is. I just put a couple rows on it yesterday. Nothing too impressive, but what I decided to do is, you see this this pearl panel right here? So there's a stockinette, stockinette panel right here, and then a reverse stockinette right here. And then over here is another pearl panel. And it has you knit to 3 inches, and then you add this side panel over here, and then another 3 inches. But mine, I'm a symmetrical kind of girl. And so my numbers for this pearl section right here and this pearl section weren't the same. So I'm adding additional rows so that I can make this the same as this.
Okay.
I'm a little OCD about some things. I can't help it. You know, I also, when
Your neck would know it if the stitch count was off, wouldn't it?
it would, it wouldn't fit right, I'm sure of it. Brian laughs because like when he will change the volume on the TV, it has to be at an even number. So like he'll purposely make it an odd number, and I'm like, no. So it either has to be just a little bit too loud or a little bit too soft. I'm crazy. It's all right. I'm good with it.
You have preferences.
I do have preferences. They may be odd preferences, but they're mine. Let me have them. And so, let me see. Is that it? Socks, pagona, and the sweater. I'm done.
Okay.
What have you been knitting on?
Well, I am knitting on my sock. That is the wisteria yarn. I think was it yarn dyed by Julia?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put that in the notes. That's why I'm looking at her like she should know what I'm doing.
I know everything.
And I did a fish lips kiss heel.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm trying this time, it's about an inch above the part that would wrap around the back of your heel.
Mm-hmm.
I did a rib.
Okay.
I was wondering if it would just feel nice and cozy to have that cupping just above your heel.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying it. Why not?
Sure.
And so I'm still on my first sock. You know, this was actually going to be part of the Lemnet Crochet knit along that was on Wolf Farms.
Yeah.
I'm probably way past that now. I mean, I don't remember which one they're on now, but she has the rounded toe.
Oh, that's right.
And I think I showed that before. And so technically I should have tried to finish it in a month, but I didn't. I'm thinking I'm using it more like you would car knitting or whatever when I want to have just a project I don't have to think about. So it's probably not going to get done anytime soon, but that's okay with me.
Yeah.
All right, so I've worked on that.
Yes.
Let's see, what else? I've got my Mama V. Let me put this down.
Oh, you could have named it Mama Lee.
Oh, I haven't named it yet, so maybe I will. It's the Mama Lee. Okay.
That's her last name.
Yes,
so,
it
kinda
is.
Like it rhymes. I like it.
Okay. Do you see?
So
This is for later, but this is what my project is in.
Yeah, it's super cute.
This is this is the large drawstring bag done by the sweet and wonderful Sasha. I gave her an Ozark name.
You did?
I thought she deserved a middle name. Sasha Lou.
Oh, yeah. That's perfect.
I don't know what her middle name is, but to me it will be Sasha Lou. And I purchased this because I, been dragging around my Mama V, and it is like, I started out in a small bag, and after a while I couldn't even fit the sweater in it. So
Yeah.
I thought it would be lovely to have a bag that would do that. And this one actually benefits Fuji. Some of the profits from this, I'm not sure what she would. You can look on there; it'll tell how she does it. I'm sure she gets reimbursed for her materials and stuff too. But some of this goes to help Fuji, who is the Chihuahua that has the same kind of cancer that Owen had.
Yes, Fuji has lymphoma. I don't know if it's the same exact type, but
It's very
both
similar.
lymphoma.
Both lymphomas. They use the same medicines and everything.
Yeah.
And I think Dawn mentioned on her podcast that the vets, pediatric oncologists, adult oncologists, they do group meetings where they get together and share notes because we know everyone's working to try and beat cancer.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Let's
So
do
anyway,
that.
it helps Fuji, the cute little applehead chihuahua, and it's so handy. And I'll show you the inside before I get along. This is part of my Gilding the Lily. Sorry, but I have to take it out anyway, and look how adorable. I don't know if you can see inside this lovely polka dot
It's so cute.
lining. Isn't that cute?
Adorable.
Yeah. And then she's got some pockets on the inside. Let's see if I can get it down for her. Cute little pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got my spare needles in there and some other things. And so I'm like a 2X. This is truth and honesty here.
Okay. Wow. We're revealing sizes now?
But I thought, don't you ever wonder when someone says this is a sweater bag? I'm thinking, probably not for my kind of sweater.
I think that all the time.
So I am almost done with this sweater. And so I can testify, yes, it does hold a large sweater. And I'm not going to be able to show you anything because, of course, I had to stop mid-row. But this is the garnet in Swish Worsted, which is a Knit Picks yarn. I really should have.
It's like a puzzle now. Can she find it?
Okay.
Oh, she did.
Right? I have sleeves.
Yay.
Okay.
Yes. Look at you.
Right in the face. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all good.
Okay.
It's for the cause.
And then I've picked up all the stitches that go up and around. And I am supposed to do 5 centimeters of ribbing. I have to look it up, what 5 centimeters is. I think it's like this big.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
But I thought I'd get started.
I like how you're looking at me like I should know.
Metric queen, tell me what 5 centimeters is.
I have not joined the metric revolution.
Yeah. You know, and I know it's supposed to be so much easier, but when you have the other in your head, it's really hard to get rid of it. I mean, let them try and use ours and see how well they do.
Yeah. Ours is much more confusing.
It is.
Pints, quarts, gallons. What the heck?
So I love the garnet color. It's a heathered, and so you can see a little bit some of the modeling that goes on. I already want to make another one. I hate to say.
Do you really?
I do. I think what I want to have is some layering pieces.
Yes.
And finding layering pieces for someone my size, it's not easy. Do you think?
It is not easy.
No. And sometimes it's like when you do find them, there's some really bright pattern or I don't know. It's like, I don't know who they were thinking of when they designed that. So I thought I really need to I can't just continue making scarves all the time because, you know, people will get tired of seeing that. So I'm thinking we're going to do more sweaters. I already found the next one I want to do. Not the pattern. I'm still out debating the pattern, but the yarn, I want to do the same yarn, Swish Worsted, but they have a large colorway, which I think is a little bit like this.
Okay.
It's a green and it's a heathered. Yeah. Love. So I don't know. We'll see when I actually get it on. I'm hoping I've got it long enough. I'm hoping the Mama V, if you don't know, is really just a layering piece because it does not come together.
Right.
And so, you know, it actually is going to hang way back here, and I'm hoping that's okay.
It's going to be fine.
She says it's fine, so it must be. So if not, if it doesn't hang well, then or if it doesn't hang the way I would prefer, then I won't make more of the Mama V. I'll find something else.
Sure.
But I thought, you know, sometimes when I get sweaters, they're like too short, so it shows my booty.
Yeah.
Or
I'm with you, sister.
I need more length and I need more coverage.
People think she's my sister. By the way, I'm totally throwing this in.
What?
People have been commenting, you know, the most recent person to comment on the introductory post or board or thread
Yes.
thought that we were sisters.
I love you.
That's right. You know it.
What else did I have down that I did? Well, you know, I'm not sure if I showed this before.
What?
My Whispering Pines.
You showed us part of it.
At the top part, but had I done
part? No.
Okay, Whispering Pines. We'll do that later because that ended up not turning out the way I had hoped.
No.
Well, I know what I finished one more thing.
Okay, are we doing finished things? We can do finished things.
Okay, well, let's
Okay.
just whatever.
I think we're done with that. So next is what came off the needles. Mom, what came off the needles?
I am a wild person today.
Woo!
Just going willy-nilly.
Just ride the tornado, people.
I decided it was time to break out the Hexa
Oh,
Puffs.
yeah.
I'm going to include a picture at the end with them all laid out.
Uh-huh.
And it's hard to tell because I really tried to zoom in to give them an idea of how it would look like all laid out, which
Yeah.
is quite lovely. You can see here, I wanted to show you in particular this one because you can see I have matching skeins and I didn't have enough to do this last one.
Oh.
I started it and just finished it with another, but I thought that's the beauty of these, is you
That's
can
right.
just pick coordinating things. You don't have to have enough to do a whole flower.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
And if you're not aware from previous episodes, what I've been doing with for the beekeeper quilt, and I don't know if mine's going to be a hanging or a quilt. I'm just making them, and we'll see. We'll decide later.
Don't pressure her yet. She hasn't decided.
I haven't decided.
Lay off. Oh, sorry.
And so I just didn't want to have a bunch of Hexie Puffs laying around because that would bother me. I'd feel like I wasn't accomplishing anything if I
Right.
just did one. And I know that you're supposed to feel all accomplished because you finished one.
Sure.
And it is like making like two toes of a sock. You're starting it like a toe and you're ending like kind of like a toe.
Yeah.
And so it is like a bit fiddly,
Yeah.
but it is small and portable. You know, you don't have to worry about losing track of where you are or anything. But I wanted something more substantial, so I'm making these. Grandma's Flower Garden
Yes.
is a popular quilt pattern. And so I am assembling them as flowers, and then they will get assembled together. And I don't know if they'll go just bumped onto each other or if I'll make some filler hexagons. But what I do is I take my center, and the bind-off edge of each hexapuff goes against one edge of the center. And I crochet, just single crochet them. And then I put the next bind-off edge and I single crochet. So what they have in common, all the bind-off edges go around the center, and then your cast-on edge is here. And so, I noticed one person was just doing the center and leaving them floppy. And which is great. Hey, whatever you want to do. In the pattern itself, it calls just for tying them together. So you would tie the corners to the adjoining ones. And so there would be little gaps in them. That's why these have gaps here, because I'm keeping in the spirit of it.
Right.
But
But you're lending it additional stability.
that's what I wanted to do. I wanted, because I know this is going to be heavy when it's done, it's filled puffs, and I use leftover fiber to fill them. And so what I do is I start at the center point, and I single crochet. I do two single crochets at each corner, and I do 2 single crochets where they come together. I want them to be, have plenty to hang on to. And so if you know how to do a single crochet, you'll know what I'm doing. I'm just joining these two, and I do not fuss about whether or not I have them exactly the same number or exactly the same stitches picked up. I just want them to hold together nicely. I just eyeball getting them even. And so I don't worry about if I have the exact number of stitches. And then I'm going to probably use, there are a lot of tutorials on joining hexagons together on YouTube. And they usually involve, single crocheting here and a couple chains, and then you single crochet on the one you're joining, and then you come back down, you're zigzagging. But also you could whip stitch. Once you have this chained edge that the single crochet gives you, it makes finishing a breeze.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll whip stitch or I'll crochet them together. I'll decide that later. But another one to add to the arsenal.
Excellent.
That Dawn, that Knitting Wolf,
Yeah.
she's pesky. She's wily. Do you know what?
What?
She has started. She did the snappy, rappy, happy, scrappy.
Happy Scrappy?
Maybe it's happy, scrappy blanket.
I'm making things up now.
I think she could cover her king-size bed with as big as hers is. She's gotten it really large. She's taken donations from all sorts of people, and she's made this beautiful mitered square blanket. Okay. And now she's starting the 10 stitch.
I saw that.
And I've done 10 stitch in Tunisian crochet. So now I'm debating, well, maybe I need another scrappy project. She's wily, I tell you. She's going to lure you in. Stay away.
She gets into your brain.
She does.
It's like a conspiracy theory now.
It is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't think it's a problem having several scrappy projects, do you? She has one where she's using her leftover worsteds, her leftover sports, whatever.
Different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The 10-stitch blanket is fun because it's whether you're knitting, crocheting, or Tunisian crocheting it's all just always 10 stitches.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal.
That's not hard. I don't know. I haven't done it.
So now I'm thinking about that. I just hope she doesn't take up hang gliding or something. I don't want to follow her there.
No, that's too much. Come on now.
She probably would too.
Yeah.
She's brave and all sorts of things.
Anyway, fix my yarn here.
I'm not sure if that's all I have or not. What's
Let me
next?
see. You finished your beret.
Yep.
And then you also did a flower for your quilt, so that's it.
I also did some squares for a community project.
So that's fun.
So I'm not sharing.
Shh. We're not going to talk about it.
Do you guys like that?
What?
Have you done that? Have you contributed squares to a community project?
I have.
I've done so many of them, and I find such joy, and I never hear. For some reason, I never hear if the person likes it or not because I don't follow it enough to know.
Yeah.
But I still have such joy knowing that my love is going to be part of their life now.
It's precious.
I pray for them, and I think it's neat. Do you guys like doing that? I think it's fun.
I bet you do. You're those kind of people.
You are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can I show you my finished project?
I would love to see.
Because I'm very excited. Look at what I finished.
Come on.
Ta-da!
I'll help.
Okay. This is the flax sweater by Tin Can Knits. And this is for my Owen. And I feel it's very appropriate that I finished it.
Isn't it amazing?
On the day after we were in St. Louis for treatment. To be honest,
don't lie.
I'm not gonna lie. We had a lot of knitting time in the car. Usually I'm the one driving, and so I can't knit while I drive. That's like illegal and really dangerous.
It's not illegal. It should be.
That's right. And so I ended up getting to Brian drove because he likes to drive when we go places. And I'm gonna do this.
I just wanted to show the pretty garter accent.
The garter detail.
So nice.
So I got to knit on the way up to St. Louis, which was 4.5 hours. I got to knit that night when we were at Haven House, which is where we stay. It's like a hotel for people who are going through medical issues.
Ronald McDonald House, but you pay a smaller amount to stay there. It's not free.
It's not free.
But it's really reduced.
It is. And it's really nice. And they give you free breakfast and free dinner if you want it. So that's totally worth it. So anyways.
Yay, you!
I know. So I got to finish it actually on Wednesday because our car broke down in Cuba, Missouri. If you've ever been there, it's a really small town. And our car broke down there on the off-ramp. And so we stayed there. So I got to knit more, and I got to knit the rest of the way home. And when we got home, I got to finish off.
Have you blocked it?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So here's where I was on the first sleeve the last time that I showed it to you. So I was about, I don't know, here's the sleeve. So you just say how long that is. And then I finished the whole other sleeve on the way home. And the way
impressive.
Thank you. I was very happy with how it turned out. And Owen tried it on. He's super excited. And so I'm going to block it tonight. So wish me good luck that it doesn't grow like a crazy substantial amount. Because it fits him really perfectly right now. So I hope it doesn't grow too horribly much.
We really need to get you some tags to sew in just in case it gets left.
That's a good idea.
Or something. Is he always going to wear it without something underneath? Or you think he'll wear it with a t-shirt underneath?
No, I'm guessing he'll probably wear something with a t-shirt underneath.
So I'd be worried he's going to take it off and leave it somewhere.
Yeah, we already have issues with his jacket that he likes to wear to school every day, that it's been left at school quite often. So anyways, yay, it's done. And it only took me 2.5 months. I was supposed to do it in a month. Yeah, I was supposed to get it done in a month, but, oh, and the other thing is I didn't run out of yarn. I thought
You didn't?
No.
Oh, wow.
I actually had a ball and a half left over.
I'm playing yarn chicken on my Mama V.
Are you really?
And I went back to order another skein, and it says, where you can click, and it says notify me when available. I'm like,
No! That's not what anyone wants to hear.
no.
No.
We'll see.
That's true. Is
Might be
that
okay.
is that one of you are you kidding me's?
On my arm, are you kidding me? I have so many. I filled the page with Are You Kidding Me in the last couple of weeks. But first of all, I would like to give a public service announcement. Ladies, needles are not for sitting on.
Oh.
I was talking to Brianne, and of course, fussy dog Sophie had to be let out. So I put my things down, thought I put them on the arm of the chair, and I let her out, and I come back and sit down, and Brianne and I heard a click. Yeah, it was my needle breaking.
It was a wooden needle.
It was a wooden needle. That being said, yes, I did not break a metal needle, luckily. But that's the needle I was doing my Mama V with. So now I'm using my Denise needles, and they are quite grabby.
They are.
But
They're great for beginners because you want, a more grabby needle, and they're plastic, so that's perfect.
But I was thinking though, you do get nice tight stitches when you have that grabby of a needle. And also the fact that you can make them so long, which is wonderful. They have really great adapters to connect them. And the needles have some give to them, so I would think they'd be less tiring on your hands than some. So I'm not hating knitting with them. They're fine. It's just they don't slide.
Don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater. Don't sit on your needles either.
No. You didn't get hurt when it broke.
Luckily,
Okay.
I did not get hurt. It did not stab me, so it could have been way worse. I
That's
just
true.
have a broken needle.
You could have had it like an urgent care run or something.
Could have.
It'd be
And
really
imagine
hard
where,
to.
yeah.
It'd be hard to explain.
Yes. And also my Whispering Pine shawl. I was going to be so brave and read the chart.
Yeah.
I did this chart 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And then ripped back. Yeah. And I still have nothing like Whispering Pines. That looks nothing like the pattern. I do not know what I did. I rechecked things. It doesn't even look like, what is it? It doesn't even have a right repeat. Do you see? Like, I don't know. It's not supposed to be ruffly at all. And look, it's ruffly. But I've decided,
embrace it.
I'm going to leave it. Yes, who's going to know that I didn't do the right thing? Yeah. And it is a pattern of sorts. It just is nothing like a Whispering Pine. So I don't know. I'm not sure where I got off because 3 times I went back and started over.
Yeah.
And I even went to every pine tree had its own set of markers.
Yeah.
Okay, because it should have been pines that were, I won't go into it.
Yeah.
I ran out of yarn too.
Oh,
but it was like so big. I was thinking, I really don't want it any longer, I don't think. And
no, I don't think you'd want it much deeper than
there should have been
either.
2 or 3 more repeats, so it would have been quite a bit longer.
Yeah.
So I thought it's good enough as it is. This is the alpaca sampler that I did my own gradient thing with. So I do enjoy it. I will wear it, but it's always going to bug me that the pattern, the chart got the best of me. There's something in that chart. I wanted to show it, but then I thought it will give the pattern away, and I don't want to do it. If you go to the Whispering Pines pattern, you can see what it should have looked like. It is really lovely.
You know what I think you're going to have to do?
What?
Let it go. Do you want me to sing it to you?
Yeah.
Let it go, can't hold it back anymore. There you go. Okay.
All right. But I would have liked to have conquered it because I'd like to try a chart again, but now I'm kind of scared because I'm thinking, I think where I got off was that there was some blue squares, and my understanding was that the blue squares were there just you were to ignore them. Is that what you know?
I looked at the pattern, and my impression was that yes, they were. You do nothing on that. That's those squares. So that was my impression as well. And people have knitted it and had no problem.
No one else has had the trouble.
No.
So I know it's me. But I think it's those blue squares that might have gotten me mixed up because they were what was giving me, especially the blue squared areas were where I was getting this. when I didn't do anything and just went on and did the next thing it called for. And there's nothing like that in the entire pattern. So I think I need to go and not do charts.
Well, you know what? What if your next lace project is something that has a chart and where it's also written out? Because then what you can do is do one line of the chart and then look back at your knitting and read it as it's written.
Okay.
Where it's written out. That's what I would recommend.
Well, she actually does do that. It still made no sense to me.
Oh.
And there's when you get to the repeat part, I had no idea how to even begin doing it because nothing lined up then, and so
That's problematic.
I think I need to do it as a knit along.
That's a good idea.
I think that's what I need to do is, which probably they would have done it if I would have like piped up in the thread. They probably would have helped me.
That's true.
Any more Are You Kidding Me? So let's look.
No,
That's it.
mine is that, it was a little while between knitting the first sock on Brian's socks and knitting the second one.
Okay.
And so I usually keep pretty good notes on Ravelry about what it is that I've done with my socks. That way I don't have to think about it or try to remember it, because that's not going to happen. And I hadn't made the notes. And I was doing the Fish Lips Kiss Heel on it. And so I didn't have an idea of how many of the twin stitches I had. And so I was like...
You don't just split it in thirds?
Well, I thought I did.
Okay.
I don't know. But I was like trying to count, the twin stitches.
Right.
And but I think I got it. They look very similar.
Okay.
So I think I did it. Okay.
You were just wishing you had made notes.
I just,
I didn't
track.
I keep saying I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because it would be so much easier at the beginning of a pattern to set up a project page and have it ready to accept your notes. But,
Right.
I'm always at the end going, what pattern did I even do? I don't even remember now. I was looking up the hat today going, what was it? I know I had it somewhere.
Spinning.
Spinning.
You're a spinner. You spin things.
Oh, I'm a spinner, and I think I dropped my yarn.
Oh.
Okay. Fill time.
Dun 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 dun. She found it.
Okay, this is just going to be a quickie, but because we are hopefully moving soon,
Yes.
I decided I have some, and don't complain to me if you're a person that believes fiber should be in a breathable bag.
Okay.
Wow, I just got feisty all of a sudden.
I know.
I do not keep mine in breathable bags. I keep them in the big, ginormous, hefty bags.
Yeah.
Now, this is some CVM. Could you do sign language for me? CVM.
Can you see my thumb there? Kind of hard. There you go. That's an M.
For those of you that are into science fiction, you're going to love the name of this sheet because
Tell
it's
me.
California Variegated Mutant Sheet.
What? Nice.
But it is, I'm hoping I'm going to tell you right. It is a Rommeldale sheep are typically all white.
Okay.
That is a breed that was cultivated in America. It's an American wool, people.
It's all American.
And you can see we have variations of color.
Oh,
so
sure.
the CVM
That's
is where
the comes in.
I guess this basically they were when they got the result of getting some color when they were breeding, they decided to breed it as a breed in itself. So it is related to Rommeldale. No, Rambouillet.
I know what I'm talking about.
It's related to Ronald McDonald. I think it's Rambouillet.
Okay.
How do you say that?
Rambouillet.
Okay. So it is, I would like you to feel it. It has great crimp, small crimp. This one I didn't get washed good enough. It has some lanolin in it, so I've been spinning it in the lanolin.
It smells good though.
Yeah. You can see VM in it. So I do not have a drum carder, and so I have been picking it by hand. I'm just going to give you the quick demo what I did. I just pick little tufts, and I have a towel on my lap to catch everything that falls out. And then once I've picked, and some people try and keep the locks lined up and all that. I do not worry about that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So once I do that, then I spread it on my combs.
Yes. Be careful because those are sharp.
Yes. And this is a fine comb. This is Clems and Clems. They're fine cards. They can be used for lots of fine wools. And I am not a professional comber. I just do it how I learned it. So, if you know a better way, go for it. But now you'll see, you can see I've got a little blob of something here. I'm going to pull that out. I pick as I go, so I get a little thing there. That'll create a little nappy place in my yarn, so I don't want that. And so you just go about pulling the wool off one side and combing it onto the other. Okay.
All right.
And you would do it a few more times until you get it the way you want. And then you roll it down. And you would have a much better looking rolag than what I have now because I don't have time to do it the right way. And then you're going to spin off of this tip. And you get a nice airy yarn from it, okay? And the more you blend it, these two colors together, you're going to get grays. What I did was I did some of it completely black. I did some of it gray, some of it more stripy, because I wanted to see some variation in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's turning a bit green on screen, but it is I don't know, it looks black to me.
Yeah.
Black and white. And so some of it is gray. I'm loving it. Now it is still a little bit dampish.
Yeah.
It is, I say worsted to Aran, 250 yards. It is soft, but not like baby butt soft.
Okay.
Like, could you wear this on your neck?
I've got something on my neck, but let me see. Possibly.
Mm-hmm. Do you see what I mean? It has some heft to it.
Yeah.
These sheep were bred for both their meat and their wool, so they're good for both. But it is like you have the light, airy dinner roll bread, and then you have the crusty bread.
Yeah.
This is a crusty bread, but it doesn't hurt you. I could wear this next to my skin and be fine. But it just has some tooth to it. Is that the name? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that is what I've been doing. My goal, because I have, probably 4 more of these bags full of wool. They're much easier to store like this than they are in the Ziploc bag. So I want to get it spun up before I leave.
You can do it.
Look how beautiful the twist is on it.
It's gorgeous. You did a great job of spinning and plying.
I don't know if you can see. But you can see, since I do not have a drum carder, I'm wondering if a drum carder would help me get a little bit more of a smoother preparation. I don't know. Or I just have to take smaller chunks of wool and do them in smaller bits, and maybe I would have even smoother. But it is a lovely, and it has some nice spring to it.
Excellent.
That's it. Now,
Wonderful.
that's my spinning.
Yay. Let's see. Next we have Gilding the Lily. Have you already talked about all your Gilding the Lily?
I have one more.
Okay.
Which was when I was at the Alpaca Ranch at Whirlwind Ranch. I'm going to leave you guys a link so you can check it out there. She has started doing hand dye. I brought home this for myself. I have 2 of them, which should be enough for a scarf. Feel it. I know you're not a big fan of alpaca, but isn't it wonderful?
I can admire.
Isn't it lovely with the teal and the oranges and stuff and the grays? And so I have 2 of these, and I picked out one for a contest.
Yay.
So I also picked out something else.
What did you pick out?
I picked out a baggie full of alpaca poo fertilizer tea stuff.
Oh, goodness. Watch episode 1 if you'd like information about that.
She's selling alpaca poo in tea bags now, so it's really easy to, it's already, dried out. It doesn't stink at all.
Yeah.
But, for people, they want to fertilize their plants and stuff.
Yeah.
It can be used it's like rabbit poo. It can be used right on top of your plants.
Yeah.
And she had that, and how could I not come home with fertilizer for all of you? Alpaca fertilizer. So someone, I don't know if they'll consider it a prize or not, but hey, someone's going to get lovely yarn and some alpaca poo to fertilize their plants.
Oh,
from Missouri. Hello.
Wow. You guys are so lucky.
Hey, and it's almost like an international gift because the alpaca were originally from Peru.
Oh, there you go. We're getting fancy now.
It's fancy.
That's right.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's talk about It's a Good Thing.
You start.
Okay. My good thing is we have one more iTunes review. So that is very exciting. We're up to 20 now. And we got the review from Who You Be. That's their name. And we just want to thank you so much for reviewing our podcast. It helps people. What?
Are you not dancing?
I will dance in a minute. Don't push me.
Sorry, I didn't want to miss
Sheesh, no. It just helps people find us easier.
It does.
And it lets people know that, we're actually worth watching. Because,
Well, whether they're worth watching is a whole other thing. But thanks for the review.
Yeah. So anyways, so now it's time for me to dance. Are you ready?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You are gifted. All of those ballet lessons were not wasted.
That's right. That's so graceful with my ballet. So that's right. It's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Yes.
All right. Well, what do you have for It's a Good Thing?
2 things.
2.
Come on. These are just 2 things that this week were good things for me. Okay. First of all, on the sweater, which I'm going to show you one more time, sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked before about these markers. They're very inexpensive through eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And we use them. I use them in this case, for tracking my decreases.
Yes, I do that too.
And it is one way to make sure you get a matching sleeve.
Hello.
It's wonderful. I just leave them in there until I'm all done, because if something happens and I have to rip back or something, I know exactly where I am.
Because you don't want one at bracelet length and the other at 3/4.
It's not as much fun that way.
No.
It's a look, but not one we want. But one of the things that I decided that I was going to do the next time, it occurred to me as I was knitting this.
Tell me.
Okay, so when like in this case, I had 10 decreases to do, okay? What I would do next time, I'm just sharing this with you now.
Yes.
I would take 10 markers, I don't know if this is 10 markers or not, and put them together like this. And I would go to my first spot. When I'm ready to place my first marker, I would place the whole thing.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
So now as I go along, when I get to the next place I'm decreasing, in this case it was like every 8 rows, I take one of these markers off and I put it here. Now I no longer have to count how many more repeats I have, because I know that I have to keep doing it until all of these are down here.
Very smart.
And especially if you're a person that doesn't always drag your pattern with you, it's nice. And plus you always have the marker handy then too.
Totally.
So I'm a big fan of these markers once again, but I love using them to track increases, decreases, you name it.
Love it.
All right. Second thing, I decided to learn a new thing because of a pattern that I'm going to try. And I had tried this, I had done this before, but I wasn't really a big fan because I just think I wasn't ready for it. I don't know if you ever feel like that.
Yeah, totally.
Like I'm not quite ready to learn it. This is, in this case, it was the Russian join. In particular, I know a lot of people do spit splicing. Do you?
Yes.
Do you use it regularly or not?
It depends on what I'm working on. Like,
Okay.
for example, the flax sweater, I did not because it was a superwash wool.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to felt a superwash.
So Russian join would be a good choice for a superwash wool. It can be used in any case, but in particular when you have something that will not felt. Or maybe you just don't like spit, okay?
Let's face it, not everybody likes it. We
So-
all have it, but do you want to put it in your hand?
No.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. So what I want to do is to show you just very briefly, and then I'm giving you the link to a great YouTube video on Russian joins. And the concept of a Russian join, I have 2 different color yarns here to represent joining 2 balls of yarn, okay? And the concept,
This feels like magic.
it is magic. I'm going to join them back together. So the concept of a Russian join is your old yarn. They are going to be basically, let's see if I can do this, if you can see what I'm doing. you are going to create a connection like this, okay? And you can see how strong that would be, all right? But you think to yourself, how could I knit with this and have it look anything like a normal thread once it's knit up? But what you're doing is, here is my little sample. On this side, I have already done my Russian join technique. And on this side, I'm like I was on these other yarns I showed you where I haven't done it yet. You use a needle, and in this video, she recommends a tapestry needle, not the big old needles like you use.
Like a chibi or something?
Yeah, not like the usual yarn needles that you use for darning and that kind of thing. You want a little thinner because you're going to go, and you're just going to take this, see how this is in the middle of this other one that I've already done the Russian join on. And you're just going to go through the middle of your thread. Simple concept. Can they see it? I can't tell.
Well, it's a little bit tiny.
Okay, so you're just going to run your needle through the middle. Just pretend I did it. And then you're going to pull it through.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you are going to do it for longer. You're going to do it until it's at least a few inches. And it buries it, I don't know if you can see the little bit that did get done, it buries it in the center. It buries the tail in the center of this other thread. And then you just clip off whatever's hanging. Now, you're going to want to have at least a couple inches of the Russian join done. But it is a very straight, this side that I've already done, you can see it doesn't want to come out. And when you knit with it, it really does hide very well.
Awesome.
So it's a great way to join thread without having to. Now you are fiddling with it with this needle.
Sure.
I mean, you could just say, well, I'll fiddle with it later. But it is a nice strong join. So I learned it. I learned a new thing.
You're amazing.
If you want to really learn how to do it, go and watch the YouTube video. But, it's kind of fun sometimes just to learn a new skill, and you never know when it'll come in handy. I wondered about the magic ball scarves that people were doing.
Yeah.
And some people were having trouble with their knots coming out. And so I thought perhaps you could do a Russian join magic ball.
That's true.
Yeah. And that's for sure not cutting out.
That's true. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we want to talk about a new contest that we have because our Ravelry group has reached 400 members.
Yay us! Yay all of you and us.
Thank you for joining us in this awesome thing that, this awesome group that we have.
Yeah.
And we're really glad that you're a part of it and we get to have fun conversations and things. So if you haven't joined, go take a look. And if you're on Ravelry, you need to join Ravelry because it's so full of awesome information and patterns, and it's amazing.
And forgive me for being spotty on being in there. It just happens sometimes, but doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you very much. And those of you who sent me messages, thank you. Meant a lot.
So here's what we want to give away this time. Here we have, I'm sorry for the bag, we have hello, I dropped it. Clean floor though, no worries, 5-second rule. We have 3.6 ounces of 80% Targhee, 15% bamboo, and 5% nylon from Tammy at Eternity Ranch. Can you even see that? There we go.
There you go. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you so much for,
I got it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for donating to the podcast that we could give an awesome prize to our viewers.
As a spinner,
Tell me.
I would like to say this feels very smooshy, which is a spinner's word for
Yeah. I'll let the spinner tell you about it.
It is just a lovely color and yarn, and I wish I could spin it, frankly.
I think that the color that I'm seeing in the computer looks very true to the color that I'm seeing in person.
Yeah,
So
it's lovely.
it is.
It
And
feels great.
to go along with it, we have a book that Mom has donated called Respect the Spindle.
Yes, that is a tried and true spindler's book.
Yes, by Abby Frankelmont. I don't even know if I said that right.
Spindles are a very affordable way to get started in spinning.
Yes.
My preference is a spinning wheel, but spindles are quite portable.
And you need to start somewhere.
You do.
Yeah, so if you would like to win this, all we're asking that you do is to I'm going to put up a thread tomorrow when the podcast goes live. And I'm going to put that up in the Ravelry group. And all we're going to have you do is tell us what you love about the fall season. Look at how easy we are. You don't have to stand on your head or like get yourself twisted in a pretzel like in some yoga position. Just tell us what you like about fall. What's your favorite thing about fall, Mom?
It's got to be the fall color.
Yes.
It is just, we were looking out at the forest today and it's just starting to turn and it is gorgeous.
Yes.
And it happens, it's like by surprise. You wake up and the next morning it's like, oh, it's changed again.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I really love when it starts to get more chilly. I'm a warm-blooded person, and so being able to like, put on layers and stuff like that feels fantastic. So I love that.
Yes.
Yeah. So the only rule is that you need to be a member of our group in order to win, and you can only post once in that thread. So like, don't tell us a million things that you love about fall in a million different posts. Just one, but you can tell us, 5 things or however many you like. And then our giveaway is going to run until October 30th. That's the day that I'm going to lock the thread, and that is a Thursday, I believe. So, and then we'll use a random number generator in order to pick who wins, because we don't want to play favorites.
That's right. And you know what? If you haven't tried spinning before, please don't just discount it and say it's too hard or whatever.
Yeah.
There's tons of YouTube videos that get you started. And I think for probably $20, you can find a spindle on Etsy, or you can make one out of a DVD and a pencil or a dowel. There's lots of good ideas out there for how to make them.
Yeah. And I was very proud of Mom because we were cleaning out some areas in the house, and one area was her craft area, and she had a lot of books. And we have a very small, tiny library here in Branson that actually is for several counties, and it's not even a public library, it's like a private library, and it's crazy. Anyways, but Mom donated almost all of her crafting books to the library, and I was very proud of her. And the reason I'm mentioning it is that if you already have this book but you would like the fiber, you can donate it to your library or find a friend to give it to. So, same thing with, the fiber. If you're not a fiber kind of person, you only knit or you only crochet or you only, weave, don't not enter just because.
Yeah, I think we all need to expand our horizons.
Of
So
course.
it's a chance for you to try something new.
Absolutely.
And
We love that.
And maybe you want to try needle felting instead, which would be another fun
That's
use.
a great idea. Yeah. Well, I believe that's it.
Come on.
Yeah,
really?
I know. We totally did it. So anyways,
Did you already do this one?
I didn't do that. We found a new podcast because they mentioned us, and she sent us a message on Ravelry, which was very fun. And Lunar Knit is a new podcaster on YouTube who talked about us in her 2nd episode. And what I really liked about her podcast when I went to go watch it was she talked about reclaiming yarn from yarn or sweaters that she found in like Salvation Army or, thrift shops. And I thought, how smart is that?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I thought about it later too. I gifted my beautiful alpaca wrap again that I made because I just don't have the body to pull it off anymore.
Oh,
and
no.
afterwards I thought I could have
Unraveled
unraveled it.
Oh, man.
But someone else hopefully will find it and love it.
Yes, that's true. So our postcard from the Ozarks. I can't talk anymore. Our postcard from the Ozarks, we're going to be showing you pictures and video clips from when Owen was up in St. Louis and getting his last treatment, and so that you guys can enjoy those moments with us. And so, yay!
Maybe we can try and get some pictures of fall color before we meet again.
Yeah, that's a
That
good
would be
idea.
nice, huh?
You guys can see what we see here in the
Yes.
Ozarks.
It's just starting, so there's not really a lot to photograph right now.
No, it's true. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
And for coming along and listening to us. And someone said that she talks to us as we're talking, and
Yay.
I totally do that too. So feel free if you like to answer our questions. If you do have answers to our questions, though, perhaps you could actually write us. And
We really do want to hear it.
yeah,
too.
we're not just pretending. So anyways, thanks so much for being here. We love you guys, and we're just so
do.
glad that you're here with us. And we will talk to you next time. And remember that you are knitworthy. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
And now these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians 13:13.